This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mins.
I had my face and logo printed on bus shelters all over town. That was about 7,000 in total. I also had rent and my student loans, all up about 25. It was the wife's fault. We had just had little Tommy and she was always nagging me, "Go out and make something of yourself, John, for Chris' sakes." I can't blame her. She was stressed. We'd never been parents before and she wanted the best for the kid. So did I. I guess I just didn't think about it as much. Anyways, I made a promise to her. I says, "Stacy, I promise I will get my act together." It just takes time, sweetheart. You know? How's I supposed to go out there and earn a living playing in the big boys market with no education and no money? It takes money to make money. Everyone knows that. I can't remember what she said back, but she wasn't happy. Threw me out of the house. I ended up down by the marquee with the boys from the soccer team. They were there most nights, and before I got married, I was with them. We'd watch the football on a Monday and play darts on a Tuesday. Wednesday there was a band, and Thursday was poker night. Friday another band. Saturday comedy. That place was crazy. Anyways, I ain't been there on a Monday in quite a while. I was sitting there drinking with Barry, our goalie. He says, "Johnny, what's wrong? Your face is almost falling into your beer?" I says, "Barry, I'm depressed. My old lady wants me to lift my game, so to speak. Go out and earn more. We're living with her parents in the basement, and she wants us to go out and get a place of our own. Be respectable. Yada, yada, yada." So we drink for a bit, have a bit of a laugh, and then he starts telling me about real estate. He says his uncle got into the game over on the east side of town and really made a killing. Good, clean fun, you know? Says to me, "You don't gotta be a rocket scientist. You just gotta know how to sell." I says to him, "I can sell. I used to work out of my great uncle's used car lot. For the summers he would put me on, and although I didn't sell any cars directly, I did bring some people over to a set of wheels I thought they'd be interested in, and then my uncles would take over the pitch. Unfortunately, they would take over the commission too." So what's the catch? You gotta be licensed. Licensed? How do I go about getting licensed? You gotta do a test. So by the end of the session, I'm 8 beers down and I got an idea in my head. Before we left though, he told me the price tag that went along with the disappointment in knowing I'd have to sign up to a course, study, and pass an exam. All up, 45 grand. That accounts for the course, the exam, the office rental if I can find one, the advertising, and maybe a new suit. Here I was sitting in this dime bar without 2 cents to rub together. "Why don't you go see Jimmy at the fish markets?" he says. "Who's that?" "Jimmy Protrudo." So the next day I put on my best shirt, my cleanest jeans, and I go down to the fish markets, just as Barry suggested, and I go to see Jimmy. I couldn't go to a bank for credit, a high school dropout without a solid source of income. No way in hell would they guarantee me. My only hope was this Jimmy, and I liked him. He was friendly and treated me like an adult, like I was a somebody, like my hopes and dreams he could relate to. He laughed at my jokes and shook my hand when I left. I got good vibes. I clearly had won him over, because as I left the markets, this fella in a dark suit and sunglasses brings over a suitcase and hands it to me. "Keep the case," he tells me. I bring the case home and opened it up. Stacy was at playgroup with Tommy, thank God. I look inside and my head almost fell off my neck. I ain't ever seen such crisp, clean dollar bills all stacked up neatly. It was beautiful, like a Christmas tree in a high-end store. You knew it was fresh and it was neat, and I didn't even want to touch it, let alone spend it. I liked the way it sat there on my kitchen table, as if it belonged in my house and accepted me. It accepted it was a part of me and my life now. Jesus Christ. Just thinking about it now, what a beautiful day. So it's 9 months later, I do the course, I buy the suit, probably prematurely. I sit the exam, I fail the exam. I resit the exam a month later and pass. I go and find Annice ground floor office space on Grand Street, Torrent, and I signal lease agreement, and then I go see a printing firm, and I give them map photo and my logo design, and I have them make up 150 signs, and I go sign another lease agreement with the city to have them installed on shelters, and for good measure, I also put out an ad in the paper advertising my services, And then Isottate my new desk in my new office is sitting on my newly rented office chair and Ismell the rented plants that align the desk. And I look at the ones by the office in trance. And I think I should probably goover and have them watered, and I'm $45,000 in the hole on this new enterprise, and it's been 3 weeks and I don't have any clients. I think to myself, I'm in a bind. You know what I mean? So then I get a visit from Mickey Mercado. He tells me he's a close associate of Jimmy Protrudo. I was all excited as I thought it was my first client. Turns out he's there to collect an interest payment. What interest payment? You owe Jimmy interest on the 45 Gs you borrowed from him. He never said anything about interest. He leaves with a warning that I'm to have a 5% interest payment ready the following day. But I explained to him that I haven't had any clients yet, and that when I do, it will take time to list their houses and sell them, and then I will get a commission once the properties settle, and then I can pay back Mr. Protrudo. He tells me he doesn't care and that the interest payment remains due the following day. So what did I do? I just didn't show up the next day, or the day after that, or the day after that. A week went by, then another week, then another. I hear nothing from the Protrudo family. I'd gladly pay the man back. It's just that I need clients to do that. How can I get clients if you're threatening me and making me too scared to come into the office? Anyway, I had some phone messages left on my answering machine. Some people saw my ad in the paper and wanted my skills involved in their house sale. I was happy about this. So too was Stacy. She was starting to get really antsy about me being around the house for long stretches. What the fuck are you always going near the windows for? Who are you looking out for? Nothing. Just go back to Tommy, will ya? Leave me alone. I thought I was hiding it well from her. But Mickey Mercado had scared me that afternoon, and I didn't want him sneaking up on the house. I made it back to the office and got on with business. To my surprise, my 2 prospective clients had turned into solid leads. I then had another 2 that afternoon. By the end of the week, I had 5 houses to sell. The following week, 11. Things were on the up and up. I did the math on my commission. I should be making enough to cover my debt to Jimmy Protrudo within a fortnight. I thought about heading over to the markets to give him an update. But I looked at the leads and I thought it could be reasonable enough to expect that my business would only pick up from here. So I thought, why don't I just bide my time a little, make some money to make Stacy happy, and then when I have a little left over to spare, that should be enough to cover Jimmy, and I will still have enough to take Stacy out for a steak dinner. I breathed easier that night, slept like a baby. Barry rang me in the morning from the office. Told me the fellas wanted a midweek game to break in the season. I thought it was a good idea. It was getting harder and harder for me to play soccer on the weekends, as that was when the auctions and inspections took place. I told him I'd set up the nets. I still had them in Stacy's parents' garage from the previous season. It was a beautiful sunny day. I couldn't wait to hit the field. I had a winner's grin. Life was on the up and up. I'm glad I listened to Stacy and I turned my life around. The friendly game had ended and I was packing up the nets as everyone conveniently left before the final task. I didn't mind as they could just be reinserted where they were in the garage. This big fellow was approaching in a weird manner. He was shaking his head as if he had a fly trapped in his skull. He looked dangerous. He seemed fixated on me. He had a baseball bat in his hand. Solid steel. It shimmered off the setting sunlight. He is walking fast. I need to run.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.